What if I told you that one text message, just 11 words, would expose the most horrifying family secret imaginable? Get up and leave now. Don't say anything to your parents. That single message didn't just save my life. It revealed that the three people who were supposed to love me most had been planning something so twisted, so calculated, that even the police couldn't believe it at first. My name is Alina Rodriguez, and I'm about to tell you how I discovered that my own family had been slowly, methodically destroying me for years, and how I used my skills as a cybersecurity specialist to turn their darkest plan against them. But here's what will shock you most. This wasn't their first attempt. The perfect trap. The invitation came out of nowhere. After 3 weeks of complete radio silence from my family, suddenly my mother texted, "Family dinner Sunday, just us, please come." No mention of our last conversation. No acknowledgement of the $15,000 they'd demanded I give my sister Isabella to cover her gambling debts. Nothing about the screaming match that ended with my father calling me selfish and my mother saying I was dead to them. Just dinner. I should have known it was a trap, but you know what they say about family. They know exactly which buttons to push. Walking into that house felt like stepping into a museum of my own childhood. Everything perfectly arranged, just like always. Mom in her signature lavender cardigan, Dad in his weekend polo, Isabella scrolling her phone with that practiced teenage indifference she'd never outgrown at 25. "Alina, you're here." Mom's voice was too bright, too cheerful, like someone had cranked up her enthusiasm dial to 11. The dining room table was set with our good china, the stuff that only came out for holidays or when they needed to impress someone. My seat was pulled out, waiting. A glass of cranberry juice sat at my place setting. Cranberry juice, my favorite since childhood. But here's the thing that should have been my first red flag. The juice that changed everything. "You still like cranberry, right?" Mom asked, that same theatrical smile plastered across her face. I nodded, even though I hadn't touched this stuff in months. Something about the way she asked felt rehearsed. The conversation was aggressively normal. Dad complained about traffic. Isabella shared some story about a coworker getting stuck in revolving doors. Mom asked about my job at the cybersecurity firm, where I'd just gotten promoted to senior threat analyst. Everything felt like a performance. Like we were all actors who'd forgotten we were supposed to hate each other. That's when my phone buzzed. The warning under the table. I glanced at the screen. Unknown number. But the message made my blood run cold. "Get up and leave now. Don't say anything to your parents." I stared at those words, reading them again and again. Around me, the dinner continued like nothing had happened. Dad was about road construction. Isabella was chewing loudly. Mom was nodding along like she actually cared, but someone was telling me to run. Who could possibly know I was here? And why would they want me to leave? "I'll be right back," I said, sliding my chair back. "Just need to use the bathroom." Nobody questioned it. Nobody even looked up. That should have been my second red flag. The phone call that revealed everything in the bathroom. I locked the door and called the number back. "You're still there." The voice was familiar but strained. "Marcus." I recognized my sister's ex-boyfriend immediately. "What the hell is going on? You need to leave. Right now. Don't drink anything, especially not the juice." My mouth went dry. "Why?" "I can't explain over the phone. Just trust me. Get out of there. Not until you tell me what this is about." A long pause. "Then, they put something in your drink. I think they're planning to knock you out." The bathroom suddenly felt ice cold. "What's your fingerprint, Alina? They want to unlock your phone while you're unconscious." And that's when everything clicked into place. The fake reconciliation, the perfect setup, the cranberry juice I hadn't requested. They weren't just trying to drug me. They were planning to rob me. Setting the perfect trap. You want to know the most terrifying part of discovering your family wants to drug and rob you? It's going back downstairs and pretending everything is normal. But here's what they didn't know about their quiet, reliable daughter. I'd spent the last 5 years designing security systems to catch people exactly like them. Corporate thieves, identity fraudsters, people who thought they were smarter than the technology. I knew how to catch criminals. I just never thought I'd be catching my own family. So I made a choice that would change everything. Instead of running, I decided to give them exactly what they wanted, but with a twist they'd never see coming. The performance of a lifetime. I came back downstairs and took my seat. The cranberry juice sat there, innocent looking, waiting. "Everything okay?" Mom asked with that same fake concern. Yeah, just felt a little lightheaded for a second. I picked up the glass, tilted it slightly, and smiled. This tastes exactly like I remember. But I didn't swallow a single drop. Instead, I became the actress I'd never wanted to be. I laughed at Dad's stories. I asked Isabella about her new job at the finance company. I played the role of the loving daughter while secretly knowing they'd poisoned my drink. And the whole time, I was setting my own trap. The tech genius strikes back. While they thought they were so clever with their little scheme, I was 3 steps ahead. You see, they made one crucial mistake. They forgot I'm not just their daughter. I'm a cybersecurity expert who builds systems to catch people who think they're untouchable. So while we chatted about the weather, I was quietly activating a hidden audio recording app on my phone, setting up 2-factor authentication on all my accounts, creating a digital trail that would lead straight to them. Was that someone pulling into the driveway? I asked casually, glancing toward the window. All 3 of them turned to look. That's when I made my move. I tilted the glass under the table and let the poisoned juice soak into the carpet. Not all of it, just enough to sell the performance. The moment everything unraveled, I'm feeling weird, I said, putting my hand to my forehead. Really tired all of a sudden. The transformation was immediate. Suddenly, my cold, distant family became loving caregivers. Oh honey, you don't look good, Mom said, rushing to my side. Here, let's get you to the couch, Dad added, his voice full of fake concern. They helped me lie down like I was precious cargo. Someone draped a blanket over my legs. The irony was sickening. They were being more affectionate now, while drugging me, than they'd been in years. I closed my eyes and controlled my breathing, slow, even, the performance of someone who'd just been knocked unconscious. And that's when I heard the words that would destroy them forever. Is she out? Mom whispered. Yeah, she's completely unconscious, Isabella replied. Okay, Dad said. Let's do this quickly. The betrayal captured forever. What happened next was like watching a heist movie, except the thieves were my own family. I felt fingers lifting my hand, my thumb being pressed against my phone screen. The gentle vibration of the unlock. We're in, Isabella whispered. More tapping. The sound of numbers being entered. Routing number? Dad asked quietly. She has everything saved, Isabella replied. How much are we taking? Not all of it, Mom said. Just enough to cover the gambling debt. She won't even notice if we're smart about it. They weren't just stealing from me. They'd done this before. I told you, she always blacks out after one drink, Isabella continued. We just needed her unconscious long enough to transfer the money. But then I heard the most beautiful sound in the world. It's asking for a verification code. Isabella muttered, frustrated. What code? Mom asked. 2-step authentication. She changed her security settings. Because I had. While they thought they were so clever, I'd been building a digital fortress around my money. Dad cursed under his breath. Try another app. More tapping. Then frustrated sighs. Everything's locked down, Isabella said. She's got security on everything now. Perfect. The last goodbye waited a few more minutes, then slowly woke up, blinking like someone emerging from unconsciousness. Sorry, I said groggily. I think I blacked out for a second there. They looked at me like they didn't know what I was, like they were seeing a stranger instead of their daughter. You sure you're okay? Dad asked. Yeah, I think I just need some fresh air. Actually, I'm going to head home. Early meeting tomorrow. They didn't protest. No offers to drive me home. No concerns about my condition. Just relief that I was leaving. At the door, we hugged goodbye like we always did. Mom's perfume, Dad's cologne, Isabella's light squeeze. All of it felt poisoned now. Corrupted. As I walked to my car, one thought echoed in my mind. This is the last time I'll ever hug them. But here's the moment where this story gets really interesting. Because, while they thought they'd failed, I was about to show them what real failure looked like. Before I tell you about my revenge, I need to ask, what would you have done in this situation? Comment below and let me know. And if you're loving this story of family betrayal and tech genius revenge, smash that subscribe button because you won't believe what happens next. The evidence they never saw coming. You want to know the difference between a criminal and a cybersecurity expert. Criminals think they're covering their tracks. Cybersecurity experts know how to make criminals record their own crimes. While my family was busy trying to steal from me, They had no idea they were creating a perfect digital evidence file. Every word they spoke, every illegal attempt to access my accounts, every detail of their conspiracy, all recorded in crystal clear audio. See, that's what happens when you try to outsmart someone who literally designs systems to catch people like you. But I wasn't done yet. Oh no, this was just the beginning. The police station visit them next morning. I drove to the police station like I was going to buy groceries.com. Steady, no dramatics. I walked up to the front desk and said, "I need to report a crime." "What kind of crime?" the officer asked. "My family drugged me and tried to steal my money. I have the recording." The room went dead silent. "I'm sorry, did you say your family?" "Yes, my parents and sister. They put something in my drink to knock me unconscious, then used my fingerprint to try to access my bank accounts." The officer blinked several times. "And you have proof?" I pulled out my phone. 43 minutes of audio, plus digital logs of the attempted transactions, plus the banking app security alerts that triggered when they tried to bypass my authentication. That's when they took me seriously. The detective who couldn't believe it, Detective Sarah Martinez, looked like she'd seen everything. 20 years on the force, probably dealt with every type of family drama imaginable. But when I played her the recording, her expression changed. "Is she out?" "Yeah, she's completely unconscious. Let's do this." Quickly, when the audio ended, Detective Martinez just stared at me. "Ms. Rodriguez," she said slowly, "do you understand what they were attempting? Fraud, identity theft, conspiracy, administering a controlled substance without consent." I rattled off the charges like I was reading a menu. "I work in cybersecurity. I know exactly what they did." She leaned back in her chair. "In 20 years, I've never seen a victim hand me this complete an evidence package. That's because they'd never dealt with someone who knew how to catch criminals for a living." The family meltdown 2 days later. My phone exploded. "Mom, did you actually report your own family to the police?" "Dad, you're going to destroy everything. You don't do this to your own people." Isabella left a voicemail, her voice shaking. "It was just a mistake. You're making this so much worse than it has to be." "A mistake?" I texted back once. "You drugged me. You tried to rob me. That's not family. That's a felony." Then I blocked them. All of them. Changed my phone number. Froze my credit. Rewrote my will. And you know what? It felt amazing. The charges that stuck, they didn't contest the charges. How could they? The evidence was ironclad. Attempted fraud, identity theft, conspiracy, biometric misuse, administering a substance without consent, all three of them, together, caught red-handed by their own voices. They got probation, fines, community service, and a no-contact order. No prison time, but the damage was done. Criminal records, for the rest of their lives. The aftermath they never saw coming. But here's where the story gets really interesting, because their little scheme had consequences they never anticipated. Dad lost his management position when the background check revealed his criminal record. Turns out companies don't love employing convicted fraudsters. Mom had to explain to all her friends why she suddenly couldn't volunteer at the church anymore. Criminal record and all. And Isabella, the finance career she was so worried about protecting, gone. Not because of the gambling, because of the fraud conviction. No financial institution will touch someone with that kind of record. The irony was perfect. They destroyed the very thing they were trying to save. The house they lost 6 months later. I heard through a cousin that they'd sold the family house. Legal fees, fines, lost income from Dad's firing. It all added up. The house where I'd grown up, where I'd saved every allowance while Isabella spent hers, where I'd been guilt-tripped into funding my sister's life for years. Gone. And you know what I felt when I heard that news? Nothing. But wait, there's one more twist to this story that even I didn't see coming. The unexpected encounter 8 months after everything went down. I was grocery shopping in a part of town I rarely visited, just minding my own business, buying pasta for dinner, when I saw her. Isabella. But not the Isabella I remembered. Not the confident finance professional who'd always looked down on my boring tech job. This Isabella was stacking paper towels on shelves, wearing a retail uniform, avoiding eye contact with everyone who passed by. The gambling addiction that started this whole mess, it had cost her everything. For a moment, I considered approaching her, maybe saying something, but what do you say to someone who tried to drug and rob you? So I paid for my pasta and walked out. Some bridges aren't meant to be rebuilt. The full truth about Marcus. Remember Marcus, the ex-boyfriend who warned me? I finally learned the whole story. Turns out he'd been at their house the night before the dinner, helping Isabella move some furniture. That's when he overheard them planning the whole thing. "We'll invite Alina over," he heard my mother say. "Put something in her drink, wait for her to pass out, then use her fingerprint to transfer the money." Marcus tried to talk them out of it. When that failed, he tried to warn me. He probably saved my life that night. The irony. Isabella dumped him 2 weeks later, blaming him for ruining everything by warning me. Even when people try to save them from themselves, some people choose destruction. The technology that changed everything you want to know, the real kicker in all this. The app I used to record them was something I'd helped design for corporate espionage cases. It was meant to catch employees stealing trade secrets. I never imagined I'd use it on my own family. But that's the thing about technology. It's neutral. It doesn't care about your relationships or your feelings. It just captures the truth. And sometimes the truth is ugly. The sister I never really knew. Looking back now, I can see the pattern that led to that dinner. Isabella had always been the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. But she was also the one who never learned to handle consequences. Every time she made a mistake, someone else fixed it, usually me. When she overspent her allowance, I was expected to share mine. When she needed college money, I was the responsible sister who should help out. When she developed a gambling problem, I was supposed to bail her out. The dinner wasn't really about the money. It was about control. They couldn't accept that I'd finally said no, that I'd stopped being their personal ATM. They decided to take what they thought they deserved. They forgot one crucial detail. I'm not the helpless little girl they raised. I'm a cybersecurity expert who knows how to protect herself. The question everyone asks, people always want to know if I feel guilty about destroying my family. Here's the truth. They destroyed themselves. I just documented it. You don't drug your own daughter and try to steal her money because you love her. You do it because you see her as an object, a resource to be exploited. Real families don't spike each other's drinks. The life I built from the ashes these days, my life is quiet. I work, I sleep. I open my fridge and know that everything inside was bought by me. For me, no more guilt trips disguised as family dinners. No more emergencies that require my bank account. No more walking on eggshells around people who are supposed to love me. I thought cutting ties would feel harsh. Instead, it felt clean. Some people say blood is thicker than water. But I've learned something else. Respect is thicker than blood. The warning signs, I ignored. If there's one thing I want people to take from this story, it's this. Pay attention to the patterns. When someone consistently takes from you without giving back, that's not love. That's exploitation. When someone dismisses your boundaries because family comes first, that's not devotion. That's manipulation. When someone tries to make you feel guilty for protecting yourself, that's not care. That's control. I ignored these warning signs for years because they were my family. Don't make the same mistake. The technology that saved me, the beautiful irony of this whole situation, the family that always called my job boring and antisocial was ultimately destroyed by the very skills they mocked, while they saw me as just another resource to exploit. I was building digital fortresses, learning to catch criminals, developing the exact skills I'd need to protect myself from them. They raised me to be their victim. Instead, they created their own downfall. The final question, so, was I too harsh? Should I have given them another chance? Should I have let family loyalty override the fact that they literally drugged and tried to rob me? Here's what I know. People who truly love you don't drug your drinks and steal your money. They had years to treat me with respect, years to appreciate what I did for them, years to change. Instead, they chose to see how far they could push me. Well, now they know.